All right, what's up, fellow Turbo Texters? I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, the homie Brody Pompe, and excited to have him on. He's got some really good results just as an agent alone, but also with TurboText, and not just with the texting, but he's using all the different features, recruiting, website. We'll get into that a little bit. We'll get into the client-facing website. He's got all that set up as well, and yeah, the main sauce is the texting, and he's had some really good results with that. So yeah, with that, Brody, welcome to the live stream here. Share a little bit with the audience, let them know who you are. If you did you do insurance before this? Is your first time becoming an agent? Just in general, what were you doing before, and what are you doing now?
Yeah. So first off, thanks for having me on. Look forward to sharing my experience. But about a year, just shy of a year ago, I was a race car driver, a welder fabricator, knew nothing about insurance. A mutual friend of mine introduced me to Family First Life, which that's who I work with. And it's been great. So been out helping a bunch of families from the get-go and just adding tools to my quote unquote toolbox ever since. So
Yep.
yeah, I mainly when I started obviously was in home, was making dials and added TurboText to my arsenal. So I was able to text clients that I didn't get a hold of and set some appointments off that. So it increased my ROI on my leads. And
Right.
So I love the tools that it has and everything. So
yeah, tell us about your first appointment you booked. I think we were in Florida, and you're like, hey, this girl, I tried to call multiple times, couldn't get a hold of her. She texted me back and she wants a big policy. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, how that went down.
yeah, so we were in Florida, and obviously you have the app on your phone, and I was chatting back and forth. I called her 26 times. Never got a hold of her. Never got to her area of town where I could door knock her. And so I never made contact. And not on the first text, not on the second text, but the third text, that the automated text that goes out, she texts me back. She's like, yeah, sorry, I haven't gotten back to you. I never answer my phone for anybody I don't know. Glad you texted me. I have a policy that's expiring this year, and to renew it, it's going to be like quadruple the price. So I want to look at all my options. So I was able to go over there and help put her in a better position and set her family up for success years down the road. So just
Right.
based off a text message, it was awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's like that constant drip. And nowadays a lot of people just don't like answering random numbers they don't know, because who knows what position they're in. Maybe they owe someone money or something, and they're like, I don't want to, it could be that guy, so I'm not going to answer.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, people just don't answer numbers they don't know, and they're more comfortable texting, and also they're at work, or they're busy, or doing this, doing that. There's a million reasons why someone doesn't answer their phone. They have a spam blocker on or something like that. But you text them, and it's just more convenient for them.
Yeah.
So obviously there's benefits to both. If you call them or text them, there's benefits in both ways. But tell some of the people watching, it could be a lot of users already using the software. Give them some tips and tricks. Tell them a little bit about what your strategy has been when you first started using it. I know you were using it for in-home. Now you're doing telesales. Maybe give an idea of how many leads you sent out, or do you normally send out, or just kind of your experience and what someone else that's watching it, they can kind of be like, all right, I'll try that. That many leads, that can expect maybe this many appointments. Or tell us a little bit about kind of your personal strategy.
Yeah. So I always was, I would run a minimum amount of leads a week to set my appointments, just calling. So I would just take whoever I didn't get a hold of, never answered the phone, and put in there. So say I bought 200 leads for the week, and I was able to reach, I'm just giving random numbers, but 75 of them,
Right.
I'd load all 125 in there. And
Right.
you're going to get the people that reply immediately are the no's.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think people I don't know what the correct word is, but they freak out. Oh, it's not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's those ones. It's the ones that roll in days later,
Mhm.
those are the money ones. So if I loaded say 100, I'd set 3-4 appointments off of the 100.
Yep.
And or be able to at least have a conversation with somebody on the phone. They'd call me back or whatever and make contact with them.
Mhm.
But that kind of evolved as my inventory of leads increased. And then with FFL and work spots, we have lead discounts. So my strategy when I would get those lead discounts is I would buy my minimum amount of leads that I know would set my appointments. And
Mhm.
then whatever I saved, I would take and buy more leads and just throw them straight into TurboText. I wouldn't have to call them, wouldn't have to do anything, and I would supplement
Wow.
my minimum appointments off that. And just, I mean, it put me in a winning position because I knew if I loaded that in there, I'd get 3, 4, 5 appointments off of it, and then it took the stress off me for dialing. So I was more like confident doing that. So it just evolved into a
That's
huge thing.
awesome. That's awesome. You kind of like Daniel Abbott. He's doing something similar now where he's not even calling them at all. He's just loading it up in TurboText and letting them rip and booking as many as he can. And some people do both. I do both. I call, I'll text, I'll do, a little bit of both. And whatever strategy works best. And that's cool because you can like supplement it, right? It's like fill in the gaps in your schedule with more appointments by texting them. And
Yep.
I've noticed that too, like 3 to 6 appointments on average. If you blast out 100 internet leads or 1 month leads, even 2 months, 3 months, 3 to 6 you can expect on average. As long as you are identifying who's actually interested. Like if they say, I'm looking for me, or I'm looking for a family member, or I was just curious, that's an interested person. That's a warm lead. Or if you say, is this Marcus or is this Emily? And they say yes, that's still an interested lead. It's a warm lead. If they're responding to you, they're engaging with you. Maybe they don't say, yes, sign me up right now, please call me. But they're like, yes, that's me. They're engaging with you in some fashion. So you can either continue texting them and letting them know who you are, get an appointment, or just call them. It just filters all the people to the top. It's like they're showing any bit of interest, I'm calling them right from the app. I'm like, yo, hey, we're just texting back and forth. My name's Zach. I'm your assigned agent with the state, whatever, right? We get right into it. Don't waste time. So you can do that as well. But use the templates. I know some people that like, oh, I got a couple of people interested, and then I sent out a big blast, but I haven't used the templates. I'm like, well, use the templates, like overcome the objections with that, and so you got to work the lead still. It's not like TurboText does everything for you. It does a lot of the heavy lifting. It's going to give you more reach. You're going to be able to, generate more interest, but you still got to put in the work. You got to text them. You got to engage with them. You got to get that appointment booked. Like that's still on you. So that's why I've noticed some users just crush it because they're actually working the leads, texting them, using the templates, versus some that don't respond to people that are somewhat interested. So you got to work the leads, obviously, but that's awesome. And what would you say, like the total number of families you've helped since you started using the software till now? Just like the total number, what do you think that's around?
Yeah, so I've been evolving as an agent too. So I've been kind of dabbling in these leads, this, that, and the other thing.
Right.
And so I haven't been super consistent with it, but from the get-go, I've been able to help 10, 12 families just off TurboText. So
nice.
It's been pretty incredible. Those are people that wouldn't have had me as like a person to help them. So they might not have been able to get coverage.
Yeah.
And then it helps me because it gives me better ROI on my business, which we have to be able to stay in business to be able to go help more families. So it's just great all along.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, 10 families you wouldn't have helped. Who knows? Like I had one person that I booked on TurboText and sold, and then she died 2 months later. Like, and if I didn't TurboText her, literally her family would have that was my first death claim. Like, it's crazy to think like, we're getting some more money in our pockets. Great. We're getting better ROI. Awesome. That's a win-win, but also like we're reaching people that weren't able to be reached by either us or another agent. So we're really just resolving every single lead we possibly can. So it's cool to hear, just even if you helped one, great. That's one family you helped that you wouldn't have helped if you didn't text them. Right. So that's awesome. I mean, just alone, your text results are pretty awesome. But let's dive into some other features. I know people haven't really taken advantage of other features TurboText offers, and we've been adding new ones, so it's maybe hard to stay on top of it. But a couple new features that have been really helpful for a lot of agents. I get messages almost every day of people winning and getting results, and it's fun for me to see. But the client-facing website, so that's the website you text over to the client to build your credibility before you get on a call with them, so they know who you are, they see your license, NPN number, they realize you're a legitimate agent, and they trust you. You build trust a lot faster when you have that set up, I've noticed. So that's the client-facing website that's all pre-templated out for you. You just go into TurboText, watch the training video, get that set up. And then there is the recruiting website. That's one of the newer features that we added, where agents that are building an agency, you want a legitimate landing page for them to go to that looks clean, professional, that is going to educate them, and then eventually, hopefully, get them to submit a form and become an agent. So yeah, give us a little bit of your experience with that. I mean, we'll start with the client facing, and then also we'll get into the recruiting website. Give us a little experience on that, because I know you're doing a little bit more advanced stuff with the platform and realizing what it can do. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the client facing website is like, it's pivotal for telesales, or I don't know what the correct word, essential for telesales.
Yep.
I just have, well, we have the confirmation drip set up. So my first text has my website link, my NPN number, all that stuff. So that goes to the client, but the client facing website I have all my links for, there's a handful of states that you can go to one website for and look up your NPN. And then there's individual states that you have to like go to that state deal. But I have all those links set up because I'm running in like 15 different states. So yeah, I just send that over. And then when I get on the phone with them, I'm just like, hey, were you able to review that text with my website? Just make sure you know where I'm at and everything, and have all the right documentation. They're like, yep, looked you up, you look good. And I have a picture of my wife and my dogs and I on there too. So they're like, your dogs are out, and it just kind of like creates something, you know? So yeah, I use that for every single appointment. They get a text as soon as we book the appointment. It says the time I'm going to be calling them, all that information. Look forward to giving you a call. And then obviously it's got the email built in that says, hey, if your spouse is there, or your spouse needs to be there. And then I believe it's 15 minutes and 5 minutes prior. It's just set up. So my funny thing, so my no-show rate, I was like, my show rate was about 40% with telesales. And I know that can be fixed with scripts and this and that, but when I'm dialing, like, I'm just flying through it, just trying to reach as many people as I can. So I don't want to be on the phone with them forever. And I think they think it's weird anyway. And so my show rate now is like 80% with TurboText.
Let's go.
It's unreal. Like, they answer the phone and they're like, hey, Brody. And I'm like, I'm looking, it's just the funniest thing. Like,
that's awesome.
I dial out with another number because you don't know what you're going to get. And then I just dial in with my personal cell, and I put that in my text. I'm going to be calling off my personal cell, bam, and give it to them, and they answer the phone, and they're excited to talk to me most of the time. So
yeah, that's cool. It's almost like some people have like a pen and paper ready. They're like, all right, yeah, I'm already ready. What's your, let's go. So that's the best. Ideally,
there's some people, like, some of those people that are kind of brash. I'll be like, hey, are you in a good spot where you're sitting down and can take some notes? And they're like, you already texted me and told me that. Yes, I'm sitting down with the people. And I'm like, okay, cool.
All right, perfect. Even better.
Yep. So that's the client facing website. And then the recruiting side of things, I've got that all set up. I haven't really fully rolled it out yet.
Right.
I'm mainly using it just in conversation when I am having those conversations with people. Hey, here's a website, check out the video, and then fill out that form if it's something you're looking, that just kind of take some of the legwork out for me.
Right.
And so I do that. And then also what I'm doing is like when we're having conversations with these people, I've got someone reaching out prior on some other like agent leads and things like that, that he will book the appointment and it'll go straight to my phone. It says recruiting appointment with Zach at 11 o'clock, and it's texting Zach, hey, this is Brody's person. Same thing, but
Right.
for recruiting.
Yep.
And make sure you're like sitting somewhere where you can take some notes. Here's the overview video. Watch this. So we have it set up, our strategy, and it's pretty cool. So with TurboText, like I set it for a minute before our appointment to send a link to the overview video, and it says, watch this, text me done when you're done, and I'll reach out. And it's like, it's coming from me, Brody.
Nice.
And so like the appointment's at 11, at like 11:20, done, call them, and it's off to the races from there.
Yeah, you wanted to see that video first, before you talk to them, because it explains majority of what we do.
Yeah.
And then now if they've seen it and they like it, dude, it's a short, sweet phone call. Like, are you in, bro? Like, let's go, or answer a couple questions. And, the idea is focus on what your strengths are. Like, do what is going to, grow your business and make you the majority of your money, right? It's going to be either selling, it's going to be either booking appointments, selling, or recruiting. That's what's going to put money in your pocket, right? Obviously, training and things like that. But like, if we can automate everything else, all the texting, all the, like, everything that the websites, this, that, everything's automated to do all the legwork. So you're not repeating yourself over and over, when you can just have a video do that, or a website do that, or a text do that. Then you can just get right into it and get right down to business. That's the idea. So it's like working smart. It's like, yeah, you're still working hard. Like, you got to put in the work to get results, right? But you got to work smart too. It's not, I never bought into, just work hard. That's it. Just hard work. I can go dig ditches for 50 years and still be a ditch digger, making, bare minimum wage, sweating, sunburn, and probably not too excited, every day to go do that. I could work really hard at that. But is that the smartest way to create wealth? Probably not. Nothing against ditch diggers, right? We still need them, but that's not the smartest way. But if I work really hard and really smart, and I leverage tools and I automate things that I don't want to keep repeating myself doing, then I'm going to get results 10 times faster. It just makes sense. It's a no-brainer. So that's the way I would describe it. And you're taking full advantage of that. So it's dope to see, because you're like, hey, I see the value. I see if I can automate this, automate that, I can set up this system. Once I set it up, it's done. Then it's just going to make my business run a lot smoother, things a lot easier. And it's going to be a lot of stuff I don't have to worry about. It's just done for me. So it's cool to watch you do that, because you're probably one of the users that are doing more advanced stuff and taking full advantage of the platform. And there's more stuff coming out. We got more tricks up our sleeve and more features. And we just want to bring as much value as possible to Family First Life, because that's like our agency, man. We love FFL and we want to help the agents as much as possible. So, so with that, any final thoughts, or any features you really like out of all the different features? Maybe you have a couple that are like, I'm super stoked that TurboText does this, or anything like that before we wrap it up here.
Yeah, so it's just made my whole business more efficient. I mean, honestly, I would have had to hire another person to do what it does. And the cool thing when you automate things and it's the same every time is predictability. With people, we always have, we're people. We have things come up. When you have things automated, it's doing things behind the scenes when it's supposed to, unless, I don't know, the internet crashed or something crazy like that. But that's pretty consistent these days. So it's just always doing the legwork. And once you have a system in place and you just implement it, it's life changing. It's crazy. It's doing work for me in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping. So that's really cool. And I love just the automations, and you can kind of create automations. And I like I'm not super techie, but I like getting in there and messing with it a little bit and just making new automations every day I wake up and I'm like, man, maybe it could do this. And we had a conversation earlier and you're like, I'm already doing that. And I'm like, well, okay, well, let's get her set up.
Set it up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just been awesome. And I'm excited to see everything else you guys roll out, because everything you have rolled out has just been super helpful.
Sweet, dude. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I love seeing people get results, see the value and put the software to good use. So it's been really cool. And yeah, we're just getting started with that. So Brody, dude, thanks for hopping on, sharing, your results, experience. I'm sure people watching this either on YouTube or live are going to have some questions, going to learn a lot from it. And one quick thing, if anyone who's watching this doesn't have TurboText yet, dude, try it out. It's 14 days free trial, turbo-text.com. The link will probably be in the description. Try it out. It's free to try. It doesn't hurt. And you'll see how much this is going to help your business. So with that, thanks again, Brody, for popping on here. And we'll see you in the field crushing deals and keep it up.
Appreciate you.
All right. Later, man.
See ya.